Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as I'm going to share with you some intuitive channeled messages that have been coming through for those who identify as starseeds, as light workers, as those who have a special purpose on this planet, even though you may not feel like you are from this planet, meaning you don't feel at home on Earth, and yet you chose an incarnation to be here. And I'm going to talk more about some of the themes that have been coming through that are important for us to know right now. So there will be some astrology in this information, and it will also be some bigger, broader energies and messages that I'm getting. There's going to be, well, actually, I don't even know everything that's going to come through, but what I've been seeing is that there have been key activation points for everybody, for the collective. But when you are really dialed in to your own energy, your own astrology chart, just the sensations of being you. And I don't just mean the energetics of astrology. Like, I'm seeing this as really tuned into the messages of your body, really tuned into your intuition, really tuned into your energy. So this is very true if you identify as an empath or a highly sensitive person. You're someone who's very aware of energetics in general. We're going to talk about some more of these overall themes of what it means to keep moving through these energy cycles right now, because we are experiencing some strong activations. And they're showing me that these strong activations are a continuation, of course, since energy is always in motion, but astrologically a continuation from when we had the energies of Pluto and Uranus squaring each other 7 times between 2012 and 2015. So that's when Pluto was in Capricorn, moving between, we'll call it about 11 to 15 degrees of Capricorn, and Uranus in Aries was covering about 11 to 15 degrees of Aries. And there was this ongoing deep energy that was being stirred up in 2012 to 2015 that we're actually now working with in a new way, as this Uranus is now in Taurus and is being squared by Saturn in Aquarius 3 times throughout 2021. And they're showing me that there's this continual activation of energy that's happening. And this is interesting because we have many activations that are both individual and collective. And by activations, I mean that you feel an energy, you feel something shifting within you, opening you up. Maybe it's cracking you open. Maybe it feels like it's tearing you apart or tearing you down. And what it's removing is anything connected to the false sense of self. And they're saying that the strongest energy here for so many of us to tune into is this Uranus energy. So transiting Uranus is what I'm referring to in terms of where transiting Uranus was in Aries, 2012 to 2015. And now where transiting Uranus is in Taurus, and how this energy of Uranus breaks us free. It liberates, it awakens, it opens us up, it cracks the egg, so to speak. It shows us more of what's within us. And I feel like what we're tapping into are some deeper energetic codes in our own DNA, in our own cells at a very deeper level that have not been able to open or awaken yet, because it has required each of us to be at a particular level of consciousness before the energy can bloom. And so what you want to do is identify where your natal Uranus is in your chart by astrological sign and by house placement. And the house placement could be in any of the 12 houses. And I do have a video, a podcast for you on YouTube that goes through the 12 astrological houses specifically for Starseeds and Lightworkers. It's kind of a deeper way of looking at the 12 astrology houses. And it's meant to help you understand more of your own energy on a deeper layer. So go to your natal Uranus, and that is where you chose and agreed in this lifetime to experience ongoing awakenings and liberation. This is where you needed to have parts of your life drastically changed, perhaps quickly, perhaps very unexpectedly, very dynamic. I could feel like these are the parts of your world that you haven't felt you could ever harness or quote unquote control. And what is happening here is that there is this reverberation of energy that we are feeling and receiving that supports us in fully awakening to more of these internal codes and messages that you came in with. And it's been a very important part of the journey for many starseeds and lightworkers. For many of you who are energetically sensitive, who are aware of what is going on and what you're feeling, even if you can't quite mentally explain it or understand it. So what they're showing me here, and by they I mean my connection to my galactic team, it does change. This energy feels like it's both masculine and feminine. For those of you who have listened to my podcast before, you know that I have connected with an energy that I refer to as a commander, because his energy is very strong and authoritative and benevolent and loving and so peaceful and so calm. And it's just this gorgeous energy. But what I'm picking up on now is different. It feels like both a masculine and feminine balanced energy. And it feels like twins. Like I feel like it's two different energies coming through at the same time. And I'm feeling it as the energies of both masculine and feminine that are supporting us in the ongoing growth of our divine masculine and divine feminine energies, which are always growing and shifting and changing. And these energies that I'm feeling are quite galactic, and I can feel that they slow down the energy so that I can receive it, because otherwise it kind of overloads my system and I just don't know what to say. So the energy is coming through at a rate that I can understand and interpret and translate. And they show me visuals. And that's how I receive messages, is through the third eye. Although I also feel the messages and I know them. So it's the clairvoyance, claircognizance, and also clairaudience, which is the clear knowing. So that's how I pick up on these messages. And I have to be in the right place in myself energetically, meaning I'm not just out in the world feeling all this stuff. It's sort of like I have to be very grounded and clear in order to be a receptor for this information. And when I woke up this morning, I felt the strong messages for starseeds, lightworkers coming through. So this information is new to me, and I just trust it as it comes through. Now, I am getting a pause here because, as always, it's very important to trust what's correct for you, to trust what's right for you. And they're also saying that it's important to know that as this information is coming through, it's coming through directly to you as well as through me. For those of you who want that, who are open, who are willing. So this is part of an activation. They're also saying that the other activations happen in the other channeled messages that I've shared, and that playlist on YouTube has all of those messages to date, where if you need something that lifts up your energy or that helps you return to a higher state of being, any types of channeled messages or information can assist you with that. Okay, now I'm trying to remember what I was needing. Just a minute. Okay, I realize this is not a live show, so when I say just a minute, that's more for me than for you. But I guess that's part of my process here, is that I have to come back to that place of equilibrium within myself. And so what is coming through here is that these activations have been very important, but they've also been slowed down so that our human selves can adjust. And they're showing me that part of the adjustments that come through and how we feel them energetically is with respect to how our lives are constructed on the planet. Meaning we have families, we have jobs, we have finances. There's things that we have to be aware of in terms of our health and our day-to-day routines and what we are committed to. And they're showing me that that's part of why energy gets slowed down, is because for some, in fact for many, we can't just make these big transitions overnight. There's things that we can't just do in an hour and have it be taken care of and wrapped up nicely. And so the energy comes through across multiple years and multiple timelines, depending on how you are able to work with the energy. And what they're showing me, it's really so beautiful. And oh my gosh, raise your hand if this is true for you. You've had so many life transitions in this one life. Meaning you've had multiple careers, or you've done multiple different things in your world, in your life. You've maybe had all these different self-definitions or self-identities that maybe really put you through the ringer at times, were really turbulent, where you built something up, or you were in a career, in a job, and you were really committed and it was going great, and then it all changes and it's out of your hands, and there's this sense of a loss. There's a sense of things that you thought were true and reliable shift. There's things that you thought were your path or your purpose that no longer hold interest, that are no longer resonating with you. And they're saying that this is true for many of us who feel energies deeply, but who came to the planet to have multiple experiences in this very lifetime so that you could really ground yourself. You could ground yourself in the 3D and understand what some of the values are, what some of the skill sets are, how the 3D matrix is structured and set up. And so we had to play that game. We had to go into those different businesses or corporations or industries. You had to go in and really experience what it was about, what the energy was, who you were in those structures, what it meant to play that game or be a part of the rat race, as they call it, what it meant for you to go through certain processes or hierarchies, what it meant to be within the system, within these various systems. And then as the energy shifted in the cosmos, but also on the planet, and then of course working with us individually, there are things that ended and fell away. And they say that this is also what stirs up what's been in our emotional body and our spiritual body, is that it stirs up more of our own fears, unresolved trauma, unresolved emotional wounds. It brings up the experience of grief, loss, transition, how we move through that, how we cope with that. It's very intense at a human level. They're showing me that at other levels of being, and I'm feeling it at especially 7D. So yes, there's 5D, but they're showing me at 7D, there's so much equilibrium, there's so much peace, there's less energy, there's not even any turbulence, but it's like there's less energetic influence from outside sources. But when we're at this ground level, literally on the earth plane with our feet in the mud, we just feel and experience so much more energies. And they're saying that this is part of why starseeds are here, because you had to play the game, go through different roles. You actually knew at a deeper soul level that you would have multiple lifetimes within one lifetime, multiple self-identities, multiple things that you experienced. The turnover and the turbulence would be a part of the journey, but that you would be supported, and you would also feel that there was something more for you, that you were meant for something else or meant for something different. Now, of course, this could be something you're going through right now, that you're experiencing this changeover in your life. You're experiencing a changeover in who you are. And what they're showing me that's really beautiful is that it's falling away. Things are falling away or unraveling. They're coming out. They're coming off. And how well can you let it go? And how well can you detach, release your grasp on something? If you have a tight grip, if you have a very tight grip on something, like your hand is clenched around it, how can you just simply, and this is literally something you can do as a visual, but also as a physical practice, is to put something in your hand that you're really holding on to. And you can just write it on a piece of paper and then put that paper in your hand, and you're grasping it very tightly. But then just allow your fingers, the palm of your hand, to soften, relax, release, and just see your whole hand slowly open. And this could take a while, depending on what you're holding on to, how big it is in your life, what it stirs up in you. But it's that releasing your grip, releasing the tightness, because part of what happens when we hold on is there is a constriction of energy that isn't allowing even the blood in your fingers to flow or the energy in your hands to move openly. And we're working with some parts of ourselves that are looking for certainty. You're looking for reliability. What can I count on? What's going to come through for me? What's going to show up? I don't want to lose any more. I don't want to have to let more things go in my life, because it's been very hard. And that's one thing that's true for many Starseeds and Lightworkers, is that you could feel like your life has been harder, more intense, more challenging than other people. You could feel like you've been through a lot more because of everything that you have understood about yourself, about your own awakening journey, but also about the acceleration that you've been going through. And I'm getting the visual of, like, if you're standing here looking at your life and you look over to the left or to the right and you're looking at like your siblings' life, like your sister's or brother's life, and how much their life has not changed at all. And you're like, why has my life changed in every possible way 15 times, and their life is exactly the same as it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago? Well, this pertains to the acceleration of energies that starseeds are tapped into. And it also means that as you move through these big changes, you are supported at a higher level, and there's more that shows up for you that helps with those next steps. So it could feel like the roller coaster, like you're on the roller coaster, and that there's just been so much opening up and changing and shifting. And then what happens is you get to this whole new place in your life that feels so incredibly true, like 100% you, like you're finally aware of who you are and what you're about, and you're aware of your gifts, and you understand more about what everything has been showing you or preparing you for. And so you reach this place of the truth of who you are, a deeper resonance with your passions, your purpose, your goal, your sense of self. There's a higher alignment that comes through, which is the reward for everything you've experienced and been through. So depending on where you're at in this type of experience or process, please know that you are supported at cosmic levels. You are supported in ways that you can't even possibly comprehend at times. But this is part of the starseed energy experience. You have a different energetic experience than other people, and they're not going to understand it, and they're probably not interested, and it would be a waste of time for you, for your own energy, to go into that too much with others who aren't really resonating with you. And I feel like this is also a difficult part of the journey, is when we have all these relationship changes and things that fall away, maybe even with family members in a very big way, that can be difficult. And I do recommend getting support for that, looking into how you can feel supported, whether that's through different online groups or just through different books or resources, because they're showing me how one of the things that makes Earth very different is that we have an expectation of tribes, of family, of our little pods. We have an expectation of connection and relationships. That's not true on other, they're saying other planets, other galaxies. There isn't that expectation that you would have a built-in family. But part of the experience of the planet is how we move through energies that aren't our own and how those energies come in and influence us or affect us. And how there's so many empaths and people who are energetically sensitive who are growing in mammoth ways in this lifetime because you're harnessing your energy in a whole new way. You're detaching from these connections, these tribes, these family structures that are no longer in energetic resonance. And it has this energy of, it's like pulling all your energy back. And then there can be that deep sense of feeling very, very alone. And it's interesting because I feel this energy goes really deep. It goes down into multiple lifetimes that are happening right now. When we're experiencing a very deep feeling or emotion, they're showing me how that feeling is lining up across multiple lifetimes at the same time. So when you're feeling, let's say, desperately alone, like that really deep sorrow or a deep melancholy that I'm not connected to anyone, no one understands me, I'm all alone, you're also feeling that energy in another lifetime that's happening at the same time. It's a concurrent energy cycle. And that's why it goes so deep. They're showing me this energy it's like all on top of each other, like a bunch of lines. Like if you were to look at a piece of paper that has college ruled lines on it, and if you were to draw a line straight down the page, that's how the energy is lining up. And each of those horizontal lines would be a lifetime, and the vertical line is the feeling or whatever's coming through. Okay, and now they're showing me that what you can do is be very intentional. So this is just a very, very simple exercise that they're showing me. Take a piece of paper that's ruled with all those horizontal lines, and when you draw the vertical lines down the paper, you're going to write for each vertical line what you're wanting to experience and feel across all lifetimes now. So it's basically like injecting an energy into every lifetime right now. So you can draw the vertical line and just write peace on that line, or draw another one that says compassion or forgiveness. Whatever you're feeling at this time or any time, they're saying this is how we can rework the energy with our intention and our awareness. And it's very simple, where yes, we still have to move through the emotional experience of something, but they're saying this is how you take control of your own reality and your own awareness by consciously injecting into every timeline more of the energy you want to experience across multiple lifetimes. And that Starseeds, Lightworkers, those who are very strong energy workers and healers can absolutely do this. And it just comes down to like these simple exercises that help with it. So again, I feel like they're saying too, like, trust how far you draw a vertical line down the page. Like you might just draw a vertical line that's very short, that's 1 inch long. Then that's all it needs to be. Or you could draw a very long vertical line that you think should go on for pages and pages. But they're saying to trust the body, to trust what is coming through for you. So this is an intuitive exercise. And that what you're doing is, again, being very consciously aware of your ability to work with energy and to bring in a higher expression of energy that, again, goes into multiple lifetimes at the same time. And this is actually the energy of Uranus, with Uranus being the cosmic mind and universal intelligence. And Uranus is the groundbreaker. It breaks through timelines. It breaks through human awareness and works at a higher level of consciousness that is very impactful. And so part of what is happening at this time, one of the activations that's coming through, is that with this Saturn squaring Uranus energy throughout 2021, we're developing new skills. We're opening up to more abilities that, again, we didn't have access to before because it was buried deeper within us and it needed to be at the right temperature or the right consciousness in order to be alive within us. And they're saying that throughout this year, it's happening. There's going to be more skills and more abilities that open up within those who wish for them or who want them, who are willing, who are able. And they're saying that it's going to be so different for everybody, but that it's part of how we are evolving this planet. And they're saying that some of these energies definitely are from other locations in the galaxy and other galaxies, but that it's going to be fun. Like they're saying there's like a lot of energy around it where stay curious, stay open, stay playful, see what this feels like, see what you're drawn to. Like look at where something is grabbing your attention and to trust it and to just see what it looks like. And again, they're showing me it could be so many different spiritual gifts, so many different things that you're curious about or that you want to entertain or play with. And actually, some of these abilities could happen overnight, could happen quickly, where all of a sudden you're hearing things or you're hearing messages or you're starting to see things, new visuals. Again, there's new ways that we're going to be working with energies. You could really feel a powerful presence with you. You could start to feel energy in new ways, in different ways. So many things that can unfold and open up, but it's part of the activation because now there is energetic room in your energy field, not just in the aura or the body, but at a cellular level, there's now room for more of the blossoming and blooming. And that's one of the rewards for everything that's cleared out or that has left your life or your world or simply just your energy. That's where now we get to see some new parts of ourselves come forward. And it feels really beautiful. It feels like there are energies coming up within us that are going to lift our energy on a daily basis. So this could be something else you're feeling. You could have a change in eating habits. You could need more water, more vitamins, more supplements, more herbs. The body might require more support because when you're at a higher frequency on a daily basis, there's more that is required to be sustaining, to sustain you, to help you with what it means to exist at that level of vibration. And they're also saying that at these higher states of being, things that used to be heavy or worrisome to you are not going to feel that way. It's almost like you're going to feel a shift in every area of your life. But the best shift, I would say, is in our mental capabilities and how we think about something, how we're changing our perceptions of things outside of ourselves and how they have influenced us. This could be that you're now in a greater state of flow and that something that used to be very heavy or intense for you is no longer weighing you down. And they're showing me money, actually. They're showing me financial matters because of how financial matters are very important on this planet in terms of it's part of our energy exchange that is both programmed, that we're taught, but also the experience of the planet. And as we raise up in consciousness, the energy of money and finances shifts. We can be wildly abundant in all areas of our life, including financially, but it isn't the same type of energy exchange. It's not like you have to be limited in it's like a currency exchange is what they're showing me, where how you exchange your energy for what you need to live a good life or what you want to live a good life changes as well. And this is where wonderful miracles can happen and unexpected delights and unexpected things come through because you're not reliant upon currency for your livelihood or for your life. So they're saying that part of what's happening on the planet with the changing economics and currency system is supported by starseeds. A lot of starseeds are actually helping with this elevation on the planet that's changing the constructs of money and finances. This is something that is global. And of course, there is a lot of global shifts happening this year with finances and the markets and just what we use currency for and how it's used. But a lot of starseeds are actually a part of this collective change. And that means that we're opening up to new ways of living and new ways of being that are beyond the financial structures. financial structures will still be there, we'll still have money, but there's things that are going to open up and really start to accelerate in terms of how we use money. And I feel it as being very controlled in a global capacity, which I'm sure you can understand, that it's controlled, but I feel like there's these energetic pop-ups. I don't know how else to describe it, but energetic pop-ups that are coming through, that are liberating, that are shifting, that are changing what is necessary. So I know that's kind of vague, but what I'm feeling as the overall message is, what can you declare for yourself around your belief system with money and finances, and your belief system around how you feel supported and what you need in order to live? Because again, this could be with that exercise of releasing your grasp on something, where if you open up and you're not clutching on too tightly to a $20 bill, what opens up for you when you can go higher? It's like, it's a higher currency. It's a higher way of working with financial energy. We are still going to always need finances on this planet. We will have bills to pay and the mortgage and need to buy food, and there's things that we still need money for. And what I'm feeling around this is that what's shifting are our belief systems, because the belief system that's really being deeply reworked is around safety and security, and how money could represent safety and security. But when you go deeper into that belief system and you really root it and strengthen it in yourself, that you have everything you need to figure it out, that your energy field has everything it needs to bring in and create what you need. It's a shifting from what's outside of you to what's inside of you energetically. And that's why I'm feeling like we're deeply reworking our belief systems here to feel more empowered to ride these waves of change, to surf through them, to be able to navigate these big changes that are unfolding on the planet. And I feel like that's also what the Uranus in Taurus energy is certainly teaching us, because Taurus is about our own finances, what we buy, what we invest in, our own possessions, what we find is important and worthy. And what's shifting is that we're shifting that energy within ourselves. And I also feel this across generations. I'm also seeing it across cultures, that what was deemed valuable and important, what you needed in order to build a good life and to live a good life, that's shifting too. That's part of this chaos that's going on and that's coming up for many people, is that we're collectively going into these parts of ourselves that have been stagnant and stuck, and we're elevating them. We're elevating them in a very conscious way, even if it's destabilizing and scary for a little bit. So I feel like a lot of starseeds are moving through these very big lessons. And if so, please ask for support. Please ask for guidance. Please ask for what you need for next steps. It's as simple as you go for a walk and you say, please show me what I need to do next with my gifts and talents. Please show me what is best right now and for the best and highest good of all. Please show me exactly what I need to do to make a wonderful income, to open up to more potential. I mean, these are the kinds of things you just ask for and see what shows up. But in order for those things to show up for you, you have to be rooted in a belief system that allows the new energies to come in. You have to have a belief system that is strongly rooted in your own energy, your own potential, your own gifts. It's a belief system that's very courageous and confident and strong, in that you're working in harmony with the universe and with your galactic team, with your angels, guides, spirit, source, whatever you may call it. It's a harmony that is flowing and open, because you now have a belief system that is truer to you, truer to what you know is true for you in this lifetime. And again, I feel like that's part of what has been shifting for so many people, is that we've really been doing deep work around our belief systems, because that is the source of our energies. And the beliefs that we have can be deeply rooted in other lifetimes, in emotional wounds, in trauma, in other parts of ourselves that have been unconscious or untouched. But when we go into them with the awareness and to bring in some light, we then can shift them and change them in a very big, deep way. And this is also how we have transformations in our lives. And what they're showing me too about this experience of a lot of life transitions, challenges, changes, healing, so much healing work, so many things that have been requiring your energy. They're saying that what this is about, one of the bigger picture understandings, is that you're getting in touch with how powerful your energy is outside of the realms of the 3D, the matrix, but off planet. There are these bigger understandings of the energy that you are connected to that is bigger, broader. It's like this very powerful force of energy that stems from other locations in the galaxy and the cosmos, and that you're getting these downloads of that energy stream throughout your life that is returning you to what you're capable of creating and experiencing on this planet. So it's like this interplanetary, intergalactic energetic exchange that as the downloads come in from other sources and forces, it shifts your own experience of yourself, of your belief systems, of your aura. Like it has this really cohesive impact. It's holistic. And it's something that we wanted to experience in this lifetime, but it's required cleaning up and doing a lot of work, doing a lot of that healing work, the deep inner work, the transformational work, in order to get to this place that's much closer to your own energetic purity. Purity is the word I'm hearing. And perhaps that perspective will help with understanding more of what you've moved through, especially the volatile periods, especially the times that have required a lot of energy and work and transformation and unknowns, because there is the energy on this planet as well of uncertainty being scary, which is also being reprogrammed, because change is constant, change is inevitable. And in your astrology chart, you will see how well you adapt to change based on the planets you have in either cardinal signs, fixed signs, or mutable signs, because each is an energy stream that works with change in a different way. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. These are the energies that initiate change. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. These are the energies that want stability and reliability and can resist the change until it's internally needed, until there's an internal process that says, yes, I want the change, then change happens. Otherwise, the fixed signs will resist and sometimes just be the slowest for any change to occur. Then we have the mutable signs, which are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And these are the energies that are very strong with change, about being adaptable and flexible. Let's try something new. Let's try this instead of that. So these are the energies that actually do well with change. So depending on what energies you have in your natal chart that are dominant, or whatever mix of energies you have, it'll show you how you deal with change, but also it can reveal more of your own growth trajectory, meaning how well you adapt to changes that are unfolding in your life, how much you welcome them, how much you want them, how much you don't want them. All of those possibilities exist and are shown to you in your natal astrology chart. And they're saying that that's why it's very important for a lot of light workers and starseeds to know their own astrology so that you really understand who you are in this lifetime and the energies that you chose to work with, which also is a huge part of self-acceptance and self-love and self-worth, and just saying, this is who I am. This is the energy that I came in with. This is the energy that I am navigating this lifetime with, and to understand it in a way that can bring you some peace and also maybe settle down any internal battles. If you are at war with yourself, if you've been hard on yourself, if you've been feeling like the shoulds have come up and you should do something or should do something else, this is where your astrology chart can help to settle down that inner monologue so that you're able to be in a place of acceptance of who you are and the energies that you are embodying in this lifetime. Now, to wind up this show and these messages, what they're saying is that a lot of people, in fact, the majority of beings that they're saying are starseeds, are ahead of their own expectations in this lifetime. And this feels like a beautiful, loving message that you have moved through so much and accelerated through so much at a rapid pace beyond what you expected of yourself, that so many people are beyond what they thought they would be able to experience or accomplish in this lifetime. And they're saying to really acknowledge this in yourself, really recognize that your dedicated efforts and what you committed to experience in this lifetime, you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of your own soul expectations of yourself. And they say this is incredible. It's also why the energies on the planet are changing so rapidly and so quickly, because now there are literally millions of beings who are holding a higher vibration and a higher consciousness. And that is part of it's like this wobble effect that's affecting the planet, because now it's shaking up even more, but it's doing so because there are now millions of people who are able to embrace the fullness of who they are and allow that to support humanity and to support where we're going and what's next. So they're definitely showing me that there's just so much light on the planet now, especially after 2020, that now more of this light can come in and support us and help the ongoing growth. But keep in mind that we can only do so much in a day. There's only so much we can do in a week or in a month. So don't be too hard on yourself if a part of you thinks, oh, I should have been experiencing something else by now, or I thought my life would be at this different point. They're saying that there's already been so much rapid growth and so much rapid change that it's worth celebrating. It's worth understanding that in yourself, and to know that it's part of how we are collectively moving through these energies together. So I'm going to end with that message for today's podcast episode. And I invite you to please check out my YouTube playlist that has other channeling messages if you are interested or drawn to these types of energies. And I hope that there was information in this show that resonated and supported you at this time. I'll be back on Wednesday for another podcast episode where we talk about the weekly energies. And as always, I'll be back on Monday for another special topics as well. Thank you so much for joining me. You can find out more about me and my latest offerings over at mollymccord.online. And again, I appreciate your time, energy, and presence. I wish you a beautiful journey in the days and weeks ahead. And please know that there is much to celebrate. There is much that is happening that is beyond what we can see, but that it's very important to recognize that your energy and your light has contributed to this. So thank you so much, and I'll see you back here soon.